Hello, and welcome back to A Moment of Focus, your go-to compliance podcast where we'll continue to bring you the latest and greatest compliance updates and available resources. I'm your host, Caleb Diaz. Now let's talk compliance. All right, it's the end of the month, so you know what that means? It's Cybersecurity Roundup time. We are back again this month with Tom DeMeo of PKF O'Connor Davies to give you all a little extra cybersecurity insight. So let's get into it. First off, hi Tom, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, Caleb. How we doing?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. Thanks, Tom. So, it's been a while since we last talked. I think the last Cyber Roundup was in October. So, could you give us a brief overview of the November and December Cyber Roundups?
Sure. November and December kind of really rounded out just how extreme the cyber events have really become, and I think when you look at from the SEC standpoint, I think they kind of summarized it best. And, we note this in the December roundup that they said, hey, look, cyber criminals remain a primary threat and organizations must remain vigilant. And I think that's a powerful statement. And I think that really summarizes, how organizations really need to continue to position themselves. You have to stay on top of it because, the cyber criminals aren't going away. When we look at really the events for November and December, and again, this is going to be almost the theme for the year. One thing that we have been unable to get away from really in 2020 and really for the past few years, but 2020 really exploded, is this ransomware. And it's just one of these things where, I want to say over the past really November, December, I personally got looped in with, 5 or 6 clients that were hit with, ransomware, and helping them kind of navigate through the process, what to do, who to call, how do we negotiate, all these types of things to get over it. Some were able to recover, some had to pay. It really ran the gamut. One of the things that I think that was also interesting too when it came to ransomware, especially during November and December, is you saw different tactics used of the ransomware gangs, trying to get you to pay. They really kind of took off the gloves and everything was kind of open, to the point where, they started taking out Facebook ads and trying to remind businesses that, look, we have your data, threatening to publicize things on the dark web, and that accounts now for a lot of data exfiltration that has occurred over the past year.
That's really interesting. After reading all the cyber roundups throughout the year, it really did seem like ransomware was a huge issue. Was there anything else that you felt was as prolific as ransomware in 2020?
Sure. The other key thing that, I want to point out is, again, business email compromise. And, business email compromise, I know we've touched on this a few times, but, these are the emails that come in that try to solicit to get money out the door. But where they've gotten really sophisticated is that, it's not the Nigerian print schemes that started, back in the 1980s. It really has evolved, right? And their key mechanism is getting into trusted vendors and trusted parties that you communicate with, and then using that trusted party to then, send those emails and try to entice money out the door. So that's something that, continuously you're going to want to stay on top of. And even you look at the statistics. I mean, look, 26 billion in global losses, it's going to account for roughly 40% of the cybercrime losses, for 2020. And the average loss when you're looking at a business email compromise has jumped to roughly 80,000.
Wow. I think a lot of us realize how detrimental a cyber hack can be to clients, but in terms of cost to a firm, it can be absolutely disastrous. One of the things we really stress in our compliance training is the cost of a cyber attack. I believe 60% of businesses cease operations due to their financial burden, which is why cybersecurity is so important, not only to prevent the loss of client data, but for the continuation and longevity of a firm. Well, Tom, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk. I really look forward to these monthly cyber roundups, and I think they offer great perspective and guidance to our clients. So we really appreciate that.
I appreciate it, Kev. It's a great opportunity to work with Focus One.
And with that being said, we'll close out our final cyber roundup for the year. We're looking forward to all the opportunities in 2021 to bring you additional cybersecurity perspective and guidance. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn, check out our YouTube channel, blog, and if you're a Focus One client, your Dash 7 dashboard to stay up to date on anything we release. And as always, feel free to send an email or give us a call if you have any questions. From all of us here at Focus One, have a happy and safe new year. We'll see you next time.